Hi, it's Kathy with Duality Unfolding. Thank you so much for watching. This week, I have a healing and transformation reading for you. So I've got 5 different groups here. It maybe doesn't look like it. I know this is kind of a lot. But instead of just offering a crystal for you to pick from, I wanted to also use these adorable little astro dice. So there are 5 different groups to choose from. So I'll show you the crystals up close. So group number 1 is going to be Sagittarius. You don't have to be a Sagittarius to pick this pile, but if you are, or you just like the way this little dice looks, you could pick it. The crystal is this little house. It's like a little cottage. It's like a little, in my mind, it's like a little gnome cottage. And this is the dice up close. Group 2 is this crystal point with the number 5 or the 5th house. Group 3 is Pisces and this little Dalmatian Jasper skull. He has like a little piece in here, so maybe it's like a patch. He's like a pirate. Group 4 is the moon and this little hammer crystal. How cute is this little guy? Group number 5 is Uranus. Oh, sorry. Let me put that where you can see it. And the crystal is this dragon head. So for each pile, I will be pulling cards regarding healing and transformation. So I'll be pulling cards from different decks. And the questions that I'll be doing the card pull around are, 1, what triggers have you been dealing with lately? And that'll be kind of a vibe check. So if you don't really resonate with like one of these groups, but you like to pick based on tarot cards, or just kind of watch and see which message resonates with you, that very first question will be kind of a vibe check. So if you pick one of these groups and the vibe check doesn't really resonate, obviously you can pick another group. You're welcome to watch all the groups. But that first question will just be a little way to kind of figure out, like, is this my reading or not? The next question is going to be, what wound is ready for healing? The third question is going to be, how is Source supporting you in healing? Number 4 is, what transformation is ready to begin? Number 5 is, what is waiting for you on the other side of your healing? So in addition to pulling cards on those questions, I will also be pulling cards from 4 different oracle decks. So again, group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, group 5. Take all the time you need to pick. Feel free to watch more than one reading. And last but not least, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the reading. So I will see group number 1. You can also check the timestamps below to jump ahead to whichever reading you would like to watch. Thanks. Hi, group number 1. So if you chose the astro dice with the Sagittarius symbol and the little crystal house, like cottage, with this little, oh, I was gonna say it looks like a little chimney, but I think that's not a chimney. It's like a little bitty window thing. If you chose group number 1, this is your reading. So I'll be doing your reading with the Happy Tarot. This is probably one of the oldest decks that I have. The box is a little beat up, but it's one of my favorite decks. Super cute. So I have pulled 5 tarot cards for you from that deck in relation to the questions that I mentioned in the intro. And then I pulled oracle cards, 1 card. I think actually you got 2 from this deck, but at least 1 card from each of these 4 oracle decks. So that's how we'll finish your reading. So the first question that I have is that vibe check question to make sure that this is the right reading for you. And if it's not, there's 4 other readings that you can choose from. So the first question is, what triggers have you been dealing with lately? And so the card that came up is the Two of Swords. So Two of Swords is really a card about, I don't want to say indecision, but really having to kind of sit and go to a place that's quiet, or even you might be, I think the thing that's coming up is that the trigger is that you can't find any time or space to get quiet. So, you know, when we come to like a Two of Swords moment, like we're really being called to get quiet, to get alone with ourselves, to make space, to make time, to just kind of put a pause on things and go inward. And so the thing that kind of came up really loud is that you have not been able to do that. There's so much going on around you. There's so many people that need things from you. You might be a parent, so it might be really hard for you to get that time by yourself. But that trigger that's been coming up is that you know that either you need to get quiet to make a decision, or even just have the chance to weigh the pros and cons, you know, because she's got these two swords that she's holding. So there's two different sides to things, or there's two different options that she needs to weigh, but also like that body language where the arms are crossed. So it's almost like this is like a protective, you know, like I need to, it feels like I need to protect my heart, and I have to figure out, like, is this the best or is this the best? Like, which course of action do I need to take? And the darkness that's around her is really just that quiet stillness, right? Like when it's really, really, I feel like when there's a new moon and there's no light, you know, because the moon's, it's hidden, you know, because it's reached the end of one cycle and it's about to begin another cycle where it goes through the phases. But that time of the night where it's like really dark and it's really quiet because most of the world is asleep, it's that same energy of like needing to have just that quiet time. So if you're struggling to find time to be quiet, if you're struggling to have the opportunity to make a decision, then then this is the pile for you. So that trigger that's been coming up is knowing that you need to make a decision and not being able to get the time, space, quiet, even like concentration, right? Because swords are a card of the mind, you know, and so if you have so much going on around you that like you can't put your brain on pause, right? Because I think we live in this world where it's like go, 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 like do all the things, hurry, hurry, hurry. And it doesn't give us that time to kind of be still. And it almost feels like too, like if you're having problems like falling asleep, right? That like, you know, when we rush through the day and we have to kind of keep that like mental log running of like, don't forget to do this and also this, and we have to remember that, and like once we do have a chance to like get quiet and get calm, it's almost like the brain is like, and here's all the things that you didn't have time to do that you need to figure out, and now you want to sleep but you can't because your brain's on fire. So what's been triggering you? The next question is, what wound is ready for healing? And so the card that came up is the Knight of Pentacles reversed. And so this is the Knight of Pentacles upright. So we can see, you know, he's on his little rocking horse and he's got this like field in front of him, and then also this plant, right? So the Knight of Pentacles is about, the word that's coming to mind is precision, but also planning, you know. So like the Knight of Pentacles, Knights are about action, but the Knight of Pentacles, all of the Pentacles cards are very, they're pretty slow. It's associated with earth energy, and you know, earth energy is very calculated, very measured, very intentional. Not to say that the other energies are not, but you know, like this air energy, the mind works so fast. The mind works so much faster than the soil does when it comes time to grow things, or even the body, right? Like when a person gets pregnant and they're growing a baby, it takes like 10 months. It's not, it's not like, I want a baby, I've decided I'm ready to be a parent, and then they like Amazon brings you a baby. Like, it doesn't work that way, right? So this earth energy it's very measured. It's very, very tangible, practical, but it's very slow. And so because this card came up in reverse, like, it feels like the wound that you're ready to heal is around really like planning your life, right? And this is planning the life that you want, right? So instead of people telling you like, oh, sorry, I thought that was a carrot, but I think it's a strawberry. Instead of people telling you you need to grow strawberries, maybe you've decided that like you don't want to grow food. Like, you want to grow some flowers, that like you don't need to grow your own food. You want to grow, some kind of decoration, like some kind of bright colors or something around you. And it feels like the thing that's been holding you back from growing, or really planting the seeds to grow your own life, is judgment. That maybe somewhere in there, like, you shared with someone, in a really kind of tender, vulnerable moment, you shared with someone that maybe like you wanted to quit your job and start a business, or maybe that like you really wanted to, I don't know, like, move to a whole new place and start your life over. And, what you were met with was judgment, and most of the time, like when we share those dreams that we have with other people, it takes a lot of courage to do that. And it takes a lot of vulnerability. And so we don't share that with just everybody, right? Like, we don't share it with like random people that we don't know. We share those things with the people that are close to us. And like, I'm picking up this little house because, home is a place of safety, right? And so the people that we allow into like the homes of our lives, it's usually family, it's usually friends, it's usually people that we trust. Like, we don't let strangers in our home, right? But I think in the same token, the hard thing about the people that are closest to us, the people that are kind of in the homes of our lives, are that like they don't want for us to be hurt. They don't want for us to like experience failure or loss or whatnot. But this Sagittarius symbol, like Sagittarius is the sign, like Sagittarius is the eternal optimist of the zodiac. Like Sagittarius is like, it's symbolized by the archer, and really, I feel like that's kind of my brain says misnomer, but that's not really what it is. It's almost like not a misrepresentation. It's a misinterpretation on our part, because I feel like, like the symbol for Sagittarius is this arrow. And so the energy of Sagittarius is that pulling back and letting go of the arrow, right? That Sagittarius is not the person releasing the arrow. Like, Sagittarius is the energy. It's a fire sign. It's the energy of that arrow. It's Sagittarius represents, adventure and a certain amount of like impulsiveness mixed with optimism. There's a lot of faith. Like, Sagittarius is the ruler of the ninth house. The ninth house is about like philosophy and religion, and the spectrums of both things, right? Where it's like we have, like at its highest expression, religion is really about like tuning into this energy, being, person, source, light that is so much more pure than anything that we can imagine, and I think at its lowest expression, it's very much about like control, right? And so, each sign has this spectrum, but this energy of Sagittarius, of this fire sign, is it's really adventure. It's like just going for it, right? Just going and having this full faith that whatever happens, like you're gonna be okay. And this is just my personal perspective, belief around it, is that whenever everything's not okay, like we don't exist anymore, right? So like in the big scheme of things, like as long as we're alive, as long as we're breathing, as long as we are in existence, everything's okay. And when it's not okay, it's because we don't exist anymore. And I hope that like that makes sense, because I think that like sometimes we get so worried about things, that we're like, is it going to work out? Is it going to be okay? And it's like, if it's not okay, then it's probably because we're dead. And I know that's like really dark. And so I hope it's translating. Like, I hope it's making sense. Because like, I feel like everything is temporary, right? So to go back to like that wound that's ready to be healed, like it's not even like a wound, it's this wounded part of you. So like the dreamer part of you is ready to be healed. Like the dreamer part of you is ready to begin a new adventure. And with this like Knight of Pentacles here, it did come up, reversed. And so to me, like this reversal, it almost feels like this fear of like planning, or like even this fear of like thinking about that new life, right? That like it's not okay. It's not safe for me to dream because like somebody's gonna come in and like shit all over it. But what do you need in a garden? You need fertilizer. So to go back, and that's terrible, right? But to go back to this Sagittarius, like the eternal optimist, right? That, sometimes people they'll put their fears on us and they'll put their judgments on us. But at the end of the day, like we have free will, we have choice, right? So like when I started getting tattooed, like, I mean, I have kind of a lot of tattoos, and like my mom would say these things to me that are, they're so mean when I look back on it. And, I think she said them out of this like weird protection, right? I think that she was afraid that like she was afraid that people were going to judge me. And so, I think that she thought that like if she verbalized those judgments with me, that like it would help, or like, I'm not really sure. Or maybe she just like, just doesn't like my tattoos, right? Which is just totally plausible. Like she's from Thailand. Like I don't look like a traditional Thai daughter. Like good Thai daughters don't have tattoos. They have very long hair and they only wear traditional clothing. No, that's not true. They all work in their mother's restaurants. Sorry, off topic. Okay. But she used to tell me that I was so much prettier before I got tattooed, which is like, that's weird because like, to me, like when people say pretty, I think of face, and like I didn't get my face tattooed. So, I took those shit comments, and I kind of put them into, I try to turn them into fertilizer, where it's like, okay, it's very plausible that there are going to be people that find me completely unattractive because I have tattoos. And like, what does that mean for me? That just means they're not my people, right? It just means it's not their preference. Just like there's people that like prefer, people with like light hair and light eyes. Like, okay, like we all have a preference. It doesn't have to, like, we don't have to make it mean anything about us. So, when you have those people that judge you, or you have those people that kind of like try to shit on your dream, you don't have to own those things that they tell you. Like you're still allowed to dream, and those things can be hurtful, and it's okay for you to like feel hurt about them. But I would encourage you not to let those comments like affect your dream, because it's your life, right? Like at the end of the day, or the end of the year, or the end of, many years, like what is going to weigh more heavily for you? The fact that you lived your life on somebody else's terms, or, that you regret that you didn't do the things that you wanted to do. So the part of you that's ready for healing is that dreamer. So the next card is, how is source, God, source, spirit, universe, whatever you call it, the higher power? If you believe in one, if you don't, then this could be you, how is source supporting you in healing that part of you, that like, that wounded dreamer? And so the card that came up is the Chariot. And so like this card is a card of movement, which goes perfectly with the energetics of, that arrow being launched into wherever it's going, into the sky, into the air. The Chariot card is the number 7. Card 7 is a number of spirituality. I feel like 7 is also the number of love, like divine love. But the Chariot card, I feel like this really matches also with the Archer in the symbolism of Sagittarius, because sometimes we can look at the Chariot and sometimes like we kind of take for granted that there's a charioteer, right? That like the chariot, like the mode of transportation, it doesn't go anywhere if there's not someone pulling it or steering it, right? So if we took away these two entities in this person, it's like an empty car, right? The car's not going to drive itself. Like someone has to power it on, or someone has to, like, if it's a Tesla, somebody has to program it at least. And so like the Chariot card to me is very much about like the universe is Jesus, take the wheel. The universe is taking the wheel to move you in the direction of your dream. And so I feel like this just goes together so well, that like once you have the time and space to really figure out like, what is it that I really, really want? Because sometimes we have a dream and people are like, oh, you don't really want to do that. And sometimes we're like, oh yeah, you're totally right, I don't. But then on the inside, that you do. Or those comments might kind of trigger you to think about like, is this really what I want? Or is this like what I've been saying that I wanted for so long? And now that I have the chance to do it, like, maybe I don't. Like, maybe I like the idea of it, or whatever it is, right? Like maybe a long time ago you shared that you wanted to move to Hawaii. And now that now that you're going to be working on your, on that wounded healer, you realize like, it's not that I really wanted to move to Hawaii. I want to live by the ocean. And I don't really like touristy areas, so I don't think I want to live in Hawaii. Or maybe you're like an environmentalist and like you want to live someplace that like you can help the land more, you can make an impact or something like that, So kind of taking that time to figure out like, what is it that I really want? And then, really allowing your wounded dreamer to just dream. To just kind of plant those little seeds of like, ooh, where are the places that have like a beach that I really like? Or maybe you're not even a beach person, right? Maybe you just like the water and you're like, I like the water and I like when it's cold. So maybe you move like to the Pacific Northwest. Like maybe you're not like a summer beach person, you're an ocean person, and then once you really get clear on what those things are that you want, the universe is ready to just like get it moving, get it going. Like, it's ready to take you there. Like the universe is like, you just let me know what you're looking for and we will figure it out. So it's almost like if you had a builder that could design like your dream house, but you just give them like pictures, where it's like, I want a bathroom that looks like this, or I want a living room that feels like this, or I hate stairs, then it's like, hey, got it. We can make you a 1-story house. So this Chariot card of just taking you like, it really feels like this ease and grace, where it's like, you're not having to figure out the how, which is really the way that manifesting works, right? Manifesting is really figuring out what it is that we want, getting really clear on all those parts of that thing, and then just waiting for the universe to pick us up in the chariot and be like, okay, let's go. It's time. Beep, beep. Get in. I'm taking you to your dream life. You got a 4:00 flight to your happily ever after. Let's get it. Okay. I'm an idiot. Okay, so the next card that I'm going to pull, or the next question, is what transformation is ready to begin? And so the card that came up is the Four of Cups, but it was reversed. So this is the way it came up. And so when I look at it, so we've got this little fella, and he's kind of sad. He's not really happy with this that's here. And then he's got this empty cup up here, but he's got another full one. And then also, the universe, God, source, spirit, is bringing another one that he can't even see. And so the transformation that's ready to begin is that you are going to leave this energy behind of like nothing's good enough. And really, like when we think about your, because this card also came reversed. When we think about your wounded healer, I don't know why I keep saying that, your wounded dreamer, because this is a reading about healing. When we think about your wounded dreamer, they've been living in denial about this dream that they have, and like not wanting to have it, right? Because, you had a dream and you shared it with somebody and like shit on it. Or judged you or made fun of you or whatever, told you it's not possible. So it was like, oh, okay, you're right. I actually don't want that. And so pretending that you don't want something that you want is really living in denial. And so it's almost like trying to force, what is it, the saying, like force a square peg in a round hole. Like nothing's good enough. Nothing is going to satisfy the dream life that you're pretending you don't want, but that lives in your heart, right? And so the transformation that's ready to begin is that you don't have to live in that energy anymore. Because when we're not getting what we want, like we're dissatisfied, right? Like this isn't good enough. Well, that's not even there. I don't want that, and then the universe is like, but I can bring you something, you're like, I don't give a shit. It's like everything sucks. I don't like this. And so like, because you are going to take that time to start planting those seeds of the dream that you want, you don't have to live in that dissatisfied energy anymore. That like, nothing's good enough. Nothing feels good. I don't like anything. Like this energy is ready to transform into, let's go. Let's get to the dream life. And so the last card I have for you is what is waiting for you on the other side of your healing. And so the card that came up is the Two of Wands. And so this little guy he's got the whole world in his arms, and he has this brand new journey ahead of him. It's like a whole new life, and all these little like magical light rays, and like just like the world is his or her little oyster, that like the universe is like, hey, I'm ready to take you on this new adventure, this new life that you've been wanting, that's a little overdue, and that's okay. Like, everything in divine timing, right? So like on the other side of healing your wounded dreamer is a whole new life that's full of like just ease. That like the universe is, hey, I'm ready to take you to this amazing place where you can just build the life that you want. You just get to build the life of your dreams, which is like, who doesn't want that? Sign me up. So the 4 tarot cards, or the 4 oracle cards that I have for you are from these decks. So it's Inner Fucking Peace, Animalkin Oracle, the Thera-Pets deck, and these cards are so big. And then the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. So the first one is from this Inner Peace deck, and it is Give Me Nirvana I Can Dance To. And the back says, like no one's watching. Or if they are, give it up. So, I feel like this card is just like, it's just so joyful, right? Like, just let me enjoy my life. The next one is going to be this Oracle of the Radiant Sun. And it is the number 3 card. And it's Saturn and Gemini. Let me move my finger so you can see that. It's concentration. And I feel like that perfectly goes with this 2 of Swords card. Because even, you know, the Gemini symbol looks like the 2. And we've got, how many? Oh gosh. 7. So there's 7 swords here. This deck is so interesting because it's like really tied to tarot and astrology, but it's an oracle deck. And so sometimes like I'll catch a glimpse of something and I'm like, this is so spot on. Okay, so I got this little devil on this mouth with these swords, right? And so to me, this energy is very much whoever it was that kind of shit on your dream, right? Like someone that's like using, like they're, even this little thing looks like a heart that's got like lines through it, but it's almost like someone was careless with their words and it caused you pain, and so it caused this dream that you have to get stuck, right? And so now you're going to concentrate. And Saturn is the sign of structure, or it's the planet of structure. So you're going to take some time to concentrate on what you want so that you can plant these seeds again, so that you can get to this dream life. So I feel like this is like, it's almost like this is like, hey, this is in the past. This is in the past. Like they shit all over your dream, but it's still here. It's safe and sound. It just kind of got caught up in the mix, and like this is the past. This is the present. This is the future. Have a dance party. I'm a big fan of dance parties. The next 2 cards I have for you are from the Animalkin Oracle. So I was just pulling 1 card for every deck, but these 2 were stuck together. So I was like, I don't want to fight it. I'm very like anti-resistance right now. So the 2 cards that came up were the Chameleon, which is energy. Look at this little cutie patootie. And the number here is 31, which numerology, 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 is a number of stability. Very positive number for like structure, relationships. And then the other one that came up is the water dragon, which is balance, which very much connects to this, right? Trying to find balance, trying to really define what it is that you want. And then the number in the middle is 38. 3 plus 8 is 11. 11 is a manifestation number. We also have the 11, where is it here? Which is like 2. 1 plus 1 is 2. So, and then the last one that I have for you is this Thera-Pets card. This is, look at, this thing's like, this is as big as my face. Okay, so it has a message on it, and I think this is a little fox, like maybe like a desert fox. I'm not really sure. It doesn't say the animal, but does it matter? It doesn't matter. Whatever you want it to be. But it says, look at everything you have survived so far. You weren't defeated then, you won't be defeated now. Look at this little baby. I want to say it's like a fennec fox, but I feel like I'm just making that up. Maybe it's puppy, maybe it's Pokemon, I don't know. But it's here to tell you that, look, and they even are matchy. I love it. That you won't be defeated. This is waiting for you. This is waiting for you. So just take some time to really nurture that dreamer part of you, that knows it. This part of you knows that it deserves the happily ever after. It knows that it deserves this dream life. And you have this little baby fox telling you that it's gonna happen. Your dream is still there. It's gonna be amazing. So group number 1, I hope you enjoyed your reading, and I hope that it was really helpful in kind of sparking that care and tenderness that you deserve to apply to yourself. And also that it was encouraging to you as you kind of think about that new adventure, that new dream that you want to start for yourself. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the reading, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hi, group number 2. So if you chose the number 5 dice and the crystal point, this is your reading. I will be using the Light Seers Tarot for this card reading. And I've also pulled cards from each of these oracle decks. So let's get into your reading. So this first question is, what triggers have you been dealing with? And it's kind of a vibe check. So if for some reason this card doesn't resonate, doesn't feel right, then that might be a signal that there's another reading for you to watch. Fortunately, you have 4 other ones to pick from. So this first card is, Judgment. So this is the Judgment card. And the Judgment card is really about a rebirth. And so if you've been feeling like there's something more, there's something else, like something's missing, this can't be all there is. Like there has to be more to my life than like this everyday grind of the same thing that's so unsatisfying. Like that's, to me, like that's the energy that I'm feeling like around this card, that like you want this, that you're ready for like this. Okay. It feels like, when the seasons change, well, not the seasons change, when it goes from being kind of like warm to where it starts to cool down. And, maybe there's like a cold front that comes in, right? And like you're not prepared for that cold weather. So you kind of like are digging out clothes and you put on a sweater, but it like doesn't feel right. Maybe it's like too tight, or like it just like you don't remember it fitting that way, but it just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel right. It's like kind of uncomfortable. Or to me, like that energy really feels like when you, and I don't dress like this, so I don't know why the feeling feels this way to me, but like it feels like wearing a sweater over a button-up shirt and like one of the sleeves is twisted up and like you can't take it off. Like you can't take the sweater off because your button-up's wrinkled and like you just want to go home and change, but you can't, so you're just mad and uncomfortable. So that, to me, like if you've been feeling like this kind of like energetic feeling about your life or about a relationship or about like a circumstance in your life, then this is your reading. It might also be a sign to like change your wardrobe. I don't know. Okay, so this Judgment card is the trigger that you've been dealing with. This kind of it's like this irritability and like discomfort with like a current situation, plus the knowing that like it doesn't have to be like this, right? That like this isn't all there is, that there has to be something more fulfilling, more amazing, more exciting, more something. This feels like a mix of discontent or malcontentment. I don't know, words are weird. Like it feels like dissatisfaction and like malcontentment. I don't know what the right word is, so I apologize. But like, you're not satisfied and you're not content with whatever the situation is right now. So that's what the trigger is that you've been dealing with lately. The next card is for the question, what wound is ready for healing? And so that card that came up is the wheel. So this is the Wheel of Fortune. And so the Wheel of Fortune symbolizes like a big change in our life. And so this is one of those cards that whether it comes reverse or upright, which it came upright, it's a great card because what it means is like the wheel is turning. And so it almost feels like you're not, like you've done the healing. And so it's like you're just ready to go. And so I feel like it very much matches this card, right? That like this person is ready for the shift to happen because they want to start moving towards this, you know, and it's not an unrealistic energy like this, you know, that like this doesn't come overnight, but it's almost like you're ready to take the steps. You're ready to make the moves to start going towards this. So it's almost like, it feels like you got accepted to the college, you signed up for your classes, and it's like, can we start tomorrow? Like, why do I have to wait 2 weeks? Can I just start the class now? Like, can you send me the books? Can I start reading them? Like, I'm ready to get moving towards this thing. And so I don't feel like anything needs healing. I feel like something actually needs to be moved out of the way. So I'm interested to see what else comes up. The next card is, how is Source supporting you in the healing? And I really feel like it's in the situation. So the next card that came up is the Seven of Swords. So Seven of Swords is a card of the dirt you do in the dark is always exposed in the light, you know? And so I say you, not meaning like you, I mean it as like a proverbial you know? So it's almost like the saying, like, you always get what you deserve, right? It's like, you could mean that either way, right? That like, because you are a kind person, you always get what you deserve, which is really wonderful things. Or, you know, you're always doing shit that you know is not right, and you're always getting caught up in some nonsense because you are always getting what you deserve. So the things that are done in the dark will always come to the light. And so this card is somebody sneaking around under a full moon, which is fully lit up, and somebody else is calling them out. And so I feel like it almost feels like somebody is trying to hold you back. And like this is like Source, right? Where like I feel like I'm trying to look at this, right? Because like that energy of like she's ready to go. Like the healing is done, but like why isn't there movement? Why isn't there movement? And I don't know if you're waiting for someone else or if you're letting someone get in your ear about like the thing that I'm hearing is like, that's not really what you want. But that's not really what you want, is it? Like, that's not really what you want. You don't want that. And it's almost the way that like someone, whoever this person is, it's like they're questioning, but really they're projecting. They're projecting something onto you with a question mark at the end. I don't know if that makes sense. Like it feels like, I don't know. I don't like this. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I like that the universe is trying to give you signs and synchronicities. Like whoever this is, I don't like them. I don't like that. I don't like the power that they have over you. And really, it's and this is like no blame. Like, I'm not blaming you. I'm not saying that you've done anything wrong. Like, we can inadvertently give our power to other people. So the only reason that this person is allowed to do what they do is because you don't see what they're doing. And maybe that's the point of this reading, right? That like whoever this person is, that it is kind of like trying to like block you from moving forward, or that maybe even is like giving you whatever this like tight sweater feeling is, you know, that like the universe is trying to bring your attention to it. Like, hey, hey, look what they're doing. Sorry, I'm laughing because can you imagine if like that, if that's what the universe sounded like? We were like, universe, give me a sign. This is me. We're like, hey, take a left. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. Okay, so the universe is supporting, I'm not going to say healing because it's this movement, right? The universe is supporting your forward momentum towards this by calling your attention to whoever this person is or situation or energy that's trying to hold you back. Okay, what transformation is ready to begin? So the card that came up is the Seven of Swords, Seven of Wands reversed. And so a lot of times this is what it looks like upright. A lot of times the Seven of Wands is someone that's in this protective posture. And so, you know, she's unbothered. And so I feel like with this in the reverse, you know, these wands are not, right? In the upright, they're like really like pointed at, they're very aggressive, like in the direction towards her. And when we reverse it, they're just kind of like hanging, right? Like they're just here, like they've lost there's no one behind them to kind of push them at her. Like they're just these things that like are here, almost like it's falling on deaf ears, right? That like you're not listening. You're not bothered by this anymore. This is the transformation. That whatever power this person had, you know, this, because it's almost like this person, like, because these are both sevens. Let me put this upright so you can see it. These are both sevens. So Seven of Swords, Seven of Wands. It's almost like the words, doubts. This person's all talk. The things that the tools this person was trying to use to undermine you or attack you or cause doubt or make you question things, like it doesn't have any impact. It doesn't have any weight anymore. And I feel like that transformation is like happening with this reading. That like once you start paying attention to the ways that the universe is trying to clue you in to the nonsense of this person, you're going to go from having to work at being unbothered by their attacks to like just not noticing them. Like it just doesn't matter. Like not a care, because you see the truth, right? So like when we see the truth, that this person just has like these feathers, right? Like these feathers are kind of the things that they're like throwing at you, that like you don't want to do that. Like if somebody throws a feather at you, like is it even gonna hit you? No. And like, yes, we have this sword here, but I feel like this is kind of like I feel like this almost represents like their like malicious intent more than anything. That like the words are sharp, you know, that they're using against you. Like they might be hurtful or they might be strong enough to make you doubt yourself. But you're not a care. I want to go back to this Astro Dice being like the number 5. 5 is the number of change in numerology. And then in astrology, like the 5th house is the house of creativity and joy. Leo rules the 5th house, if that kind of means anything to you, like if it's like one of your big three, like sun, moon, rising, or even if it's like your Venus. But I think of the fifth house and like a really kind of high level expression of Leo as like the toddler, because I feel like when it comes to like creativity and joy, like toddlers don't care. Like they do not care if someone's like, actually, like, dinosaurs aren't purple, they're green. Like, don't care. Toddlers don't care. They're just having a good time, finger painting or picking their nose or like whatever, breaking things, whatever nonsense the toddlers enjoy, And so it feels like you're making this big shift to get to that place of joy, of enjoyment, of satisfaction, right? Because when we look at her face, she's living the dream. Okay, so transformation that is ready to begin is being unbothered. So the last card is for what is waiting for you on the other side of your healing. And so this card is the Five of Wands. And so in the traditional Five of Wands, we have people that are kind of play fighting or arguing. And I feel like with this card, again, the five, I can't. We have this like collaboration of working towards like something higher. This fire, wands represent the fire signs. But I feel like this fire is like this passion, this creativity, this joy. So it's almost like, okay, I'm seeing it now. You are ready to birth a new life. Got all this orange in here, right? Like creativity, joy, passion, expression, and like this person, like this person's trying to hold you back, but you see the truth of them, so you're just letting this stuff go. And this, sorry, all over the place with these, like this new life that you want to like birth or bring in is really going to like, it's going to bring you your tribe. It's going to bring you your people, right? Because when we look at all these people, they're all moving, like they're all moving in the same direction. Sorry, I was looking at her, and even with her, she's kind of looking down at this person like, am I stepping on you? Are you okay? So like this energy, I feel like it's so collaborative, and it's just really like, it's really positive. Like everybody's moving towards the same thing. Everybody's moving towards this like fire, passion, creativity. And I feel like that's so awesome. It's so great, that the one thing that's holding you back, this person, this energy, the universe is like, hey, like, no more. We got to go. You got to build that bubble around you so you don't listen to it, because you have this amazing tribe of people that, that are waiting for you, that are ready for you. And I feel like this is very much like, it doesn't feel like work. Like there is work involved, but it's almost like this feels like your tribe, like your people. Like this feels very much like a group that's involved in like social justice, or they're all moving in the same direction, right? Where it's like, maybe you're a teacher, right? And like this is like your tribe of collaborators, of educators that like they hold the same values as you, like they're moving in the same direction. And that's I feel like that's so good. That's so good, right? That like we've got, this freedom here, she's dancing. This is this creation, this fire, this passion. And then you find these people that are all wanting to work for the same thing. They're building a structure so they can all climb up to have this together. So good. It's so good. I love it. Okay. So, next are the oracle cards. So the inner peace card that I pulled for you is chop wood, carry vodka. The back of the card says, cheers to enjoying life. You're welcome. So even if you even if you're not a drinker, you can. The traditional saying is chop wood, carry water. And so that's very, oh, you didn't have any pentacles. I was looking, well, I've got the wheel here, and these all look like pentacles. Chop wood, carry water is a very, like, do the everyday steps of life, knowing that those things they all add up, and it'll get you to the right mindset to get where you need to go. But I feel like it's very much in line with this group of people, right? That like when you get with these people, like you will enjoy like the everyday parts of life. You'll enjoy like the small activities of chopping that wood to build the structure to climb up, of carrying the water back to the village so that like you can cook and clean and bathe and do all these things, right? And so like I said, the back says cheers to life, you're welcome. And it's almost like that's the, like that's the universe saying like, hey, cheers, you're one step closer to this dream life. Just keep going every day, like one more step, one foot in front of the other. I love it. Okay, the next card I pulled is from the Oracle of the Radiant Sun deck. And so it's the number 2 card. It's Saturn and Taurus, and it's ostentation. And so there's a lot of bull symbolism on here. And Taurus is another earth sign. Taurus is very much about kind of like those everyday chop wood, carry water kind of things, right? That like, I don't know why it makes me think of like supply chain, but it's like the everyday, not like supply chain of like stuff getting shipped from overseas to come here, like maybe oil or something. Like to me, this feels like a farm in the state where you live, like, getting all the produce packed up to get shipped to a grocery store chain in the area where you live. So this Saturn in Taurus, like the Saturn is the planet that rules structures and kind of rules, and Taurus is very much about like the little everyday things that we need, right? Like food, shelter, and belonging, safety, So I feel like these are like these two very much go together, right? Like do the everyday things that you need to do, and each step is bringing you closer to being able to see that big change, right? Because like with all the wands cards, like to me it feels kind of like maybe you're a fire sign, you have a lot of energy, like that 5th house, Leo. Like you want to make the leap to get here, but it's very much like small steps, right? Where it's like every day you're doing the things to bring you one step closer to this dream life. And I know when we started the reading, like I talked about like this dissatisfaction, like this lack of contentment, like kind of the mundane in and out, like all the same. Ugh. But I feel like once you become aware of this energy that's holding you back, like that feeling of like not being content about your life is going to dissipate. And those everyday little steps, you'll be able to see and feel that it's taking you one step closer to this, this dream life with your tribe. Yes. And then I pulled an Animalkin Oracle card for you, and it's the hummingbird, which is joy. 5th house. Can you see it? I love it. Okay, so the last card is this Thera-Pets card, and these are so cute. Sorry, I love cute things. So if you hate cute things, then I'm so sorry that you're stuck with this. But you made it this far. Hey, Okay, so the card says you are doing enough. It's going to be okay. That's so cute. This little universe, star dust, magical, and I feel like it very much, goes with these like all these little everyday things, right? My hands are too small, the cards are too big. Like, you're doing enough. You're doing enough. The change is happening. Everything's going to be okay. You're going to get here. Is it going to happen overnight? Probably not. But is the wheel of fortune turning? Yes. Yep. The universe is literally trying to turn your head to see the truth of this, which I feel like at this point you know exactly who it is. You know what it is. And so this is just, my brain says centrifugal motion. That's not not how it works, but you get what I'm saying. So you're doing enough. It's going to be okay. So group number 2. That was your reading. So I hope that you enjoyed it. I love that you don't have anything to heal. That like this reading is literally just about like transformation. That, the part of you, the intuitive part of you that's like, get me out of here. Mista, is totally spot on. And that the universe is like, this is the block. This is the block. And that once you see it, you will be unbothered. And then you'll just start moving towards your dream life. So if you enjoyed this reading, if you would like to like the video and subscribe, I would love that. But either way, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hi, group number 3. So if you chose the Pisces Astro Dice and this little guy who may or may not be a pirate. How cute is he? He has funny teeth. If you chose these 2 symbols, this is your reading. So I will be using the Transient Light Tarot. I've pulled 5 tarot cards for you and oracle cards from each of these decks. So this first card is going to be the vibe check. So if this card doesn't really resonate for your situation or like doesn't make sense to you, this might not be a reading. So there are 4 other readings that you can choose from. So what triggers have you been dealing with lately? So the card that came up was the 8 of Coins in reverse. And so 8 of Coins is about like doing the work. And so because it's in reverse, like the feeling that I got from it is this feeling of like, it doesn't matter how hard I work, I cannot make any forward progress. Like no matter what I try, I'm still stuck right where I am. And this is really frustrating. So it's almost like, it's not a lack mentality. It's not like 5 of Coins is very much like a lack, like there's not enough and like woe is me. Like this is, to me, like this 8 of Coins in reverse is frustration. Like I'm doing all the things that I'm supposed to be doing and it's not working. I'm adding 1 + 1 and I keep getting -7, and why is this happening? And I'm getting really pissed off because that person's doing the 1 + 1 and they're getting 2, and why am I? So it's it's like this frustration around, like it definitely feels like work, but it might not even be a job. It might be like let's say you're in the gym, right? And you're doing all the things, you're like eating the right way, for your body, or you're doing the exercises or like, movement that feels good to you, and like there's not any progress. So if this resonates for you, if you have a kind of general feeling of frustration around the amount of effort that you're putting in and the lack of results that you're getting, then this is the reading for you. So the next question or the next card is, what wound is ready for healing? And so this is the 7 of Swords reversed. I want to see if these are all Okay, these are all in reverse. I don't look at them ahead of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start reading them as upright. Like I feel like whenever they all come out reversed, that's not really, I don't want to say it's not right. To me, it feels like I just need to pay extra special attention to all the cards. Sometimes when you have a mix of like upright and reverse, like those cards that are reversed are kind of calling attention to you. But I feel like just because they're all reversed, everything is like, this is important. Like, of course it's important. This is your healing and transformation. Duh, Taro. Okay, so this Seven of Swords. What wound is ready for healing? So the Seven of Swords came up for the last group, and I feel like Seven of Swords is kind of a tricky card. Excuse me. The feeling I get from this is that it's time to take your toys and go home. So, and not in like a pouty way. Like it feels like you are either in a job or you're in a friend group, or this might even be like your family, which I hope it's not, because that's kind of shitty, but I also get it. You're surrounded by people that are not, they're not very nice, right? Like typically like Three of Cups reverse can like represent gossip, but to me like this Seven of Swords is very much like excuse me, there's a lot of negativity here, right? And like the energy of the group is like, well, this is what we do, like this is what everybody does. Like, why aren't you doing this? And like, there's no inclination to change or improve. So even if you tried to express to this group of people, like, I don't really vibe with that, right? That like, I don't really like going out and getting drunk every weekend. I don't really like going shopping and spending all my money every weekend. Or I don't really like making fun of other people when we go to the gym, or like whatever it is. Like, there's something about this group of people that like it does not vibe with you. It doesn't feel good. But I think also there's this kind of like fear of being by yourself, not because you're not comfortable being alone. I think that you might have like a little bit of a stigma around like being a loner, or that like maybe there's like kind of an old story about like nobody really likes me, or you might have like some kind of wounding around like, because it feels like there was a situation where like you were rejected, or you were like a new person, and like it was very like maybe traumatic, maybe really difficult, and so like this kind of seed was planted where it's like, I don't fit in, I don't belong. So it's like there's this old story back here of like no matter how hard I try, I can't find like friends that are like me. I can't find people that are like me. No matter how hard I try, I don't fit in. And so I will tell you, one, that's not true. Like you have a tribe of people out there that are just waiting for you, and they can't wait to love on you, and they think that you're fucking rad. But these people are not it. And so when we look at like, when we look at this little butterfly carrying its sword away, like we can't see who's holding these other swords, right? So it's almost like this connection that you have, like it's very superficial, like it's not kind of this deep connection, which is what you really want, right? Because this Eight of Coins is about like doing the work, like investing the time, investing the energy, like putting your heart and soul into something. And this is very superficial. So the wound that is ready for healing for you is that part of you that holds this belief that like you don't fit in, that you're not good enough, you're never going to find your people. It feels like this very like kind of like small rejected child, you know, maybe like I feel like for some of you it's like it feels like a 5-year-old, some of you it feels like 8 to 10. And so like if you have a chance, if you're willing, if you're open to doing this, some really great inner child exercises, like ways to connect to that inner child is, you know, whenever that thing happened where the I don't fit in belief started, as far back as you can remember, whatever age that was, let's say it was 10. If you can find a picture of your inner or of your 10-year-old self, you know, like if you have one, if your parents have one, and if you can't find a picture, if you want to do some journaling or meditation, I feel like meditation works really well. You could Google inner child meditation, or you can just kind of visualize yourself sitting across from or like next to your 10-year-old self and just letting them kind of have a conversation. And I feel like that's really what the inner child like work is. It's giving time and space to that version of yourself, that part of yourself, because they very much live inside of us. Like they're with us all the time. I mean, little Kathy is definitely the one who picked out this deck, this Thera-Pets. I saw it in another reader's YouTube video, and I was like, oh, I have to have that. Like, take my money. Also, this is little Kathy's favorite crystal. Anyway, so little you, giving time and space for that little you part of you to communicate, to maybe talk about how it feels like it's, you know, or they feel like they're bad because they don't have a best friend, or they feel like they did something wrong, or they, you know, whatever that expression is for them. And it could be anger. They could be really mad about whatever happened, and they just need to express that and share that. In my experience, as a coach and helping people like with inner child work, a lot of the time, like, that inner child part of us, either, you know, needs a hug, you know, so meditation and visualization, or they need to play, you know, so, if you're having a hard time connecting with that inner child part of you, think back on whatever you really, really enjoy doing at that age. And like that can be the start of the relationship, right? Because even like if you have any experience like interacting with kids, like depending on what age they are, like not all kids want to talk, but like kids are happy to play on a playground. Like kids are all about some swings or painting or like some kind of activity, right? So if you're struggling to connect with that like inner child part of you, thinking back on the thing that you really enjoyed doing and, you know, kind of like thinking about that memory, or even if it's something that like, I don't know, let's say you like to hula hoop as a kid, going and buying like a hula hoop at the dollar store or something, you know, and doing that activity. Little free coaching for you. Okay, so the wound in you that is ready for healing is that part of you that holds the belief that like you don't fit in or you did something wrong, you know, that kind of rejected part of you. So the next card is, how is Source supporting you in healing? And so the card that came up is Keeper of Wands. And so the Keeper of Wands is the Queen of Wands. And so like in the traditional Queen of Wands, there's this big sunflower, and the Queen of Wands is in the desert. And so sunflowers don't grow in the desert, right? So that energy, like that queen energy, that nurturing energy, is able to bring like really bring light to the situation, bring like sunlight, bring warmth, bring beauty. And so the universe is really here for your inner child self as that kind of gentle mother figure, right? That like, that it is here to provide you with this nurturing that like, you know, you are good enough and you are lovable, and I'm going to bring you good people and friends, and you don't have to work so hard. anymore to find those people, you know, and you especially don't have to work so hard for the people that don't deserve your time and energy. That there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You didn't do anything wrong. You know, this was just a lesson that maybe when you reincarnate, or when you incarnated into this version of yourself, when your soul took this body, that was something that you wanted to learn. And that the lesson has been learned, and now the healing can happen, you know, and that lesson is that, like, not everybody is your people, but that doesn't mean that you don't have people, you know, that like sometimes we have to experience those situations that don't feel good, so that it's so much easier to find the ones that do light us up, that do feel good to us, that, you know, those friendships that are really like a key in the lock, right? That are like fulfilling, and that really kind of crack us open in the best way, that are really like magical. So that's how the universe is supporting you in healing, is with that really nurturing, like loving mother energy. So if you want to, when you do your inner child work, if you want to invite like the universe in there with you, I feel like this kind of Queen of Wands energy, and I feel like really, like, to me, like, I think and this is just my preference, right? Everybody's preference of like a mother figure is different, but I feel like the most like really loving, matriarchal, matronly even energy is the Oracle from the Matrix, because like she knew that he was going to break the vase, and like she didn't get upset when he did, you know, like that she had the cookies there and she offered him one, and like you know, even, you know, when he asked like, am I the one, and she says no, it's because like she wanted him to learn in his own way, right? That she was there to support him. So to me, I feel like this is really like matronly, like just for me, like kind of just the perfect mom, right? That she makes you cookies. She doesn't get mad when you do the dumb shit that she knows you're gonna do, and, you know, is just kind of there to support you. Okay, so the next card is what transformation is ready to begin. Ooh, so this is Ace of Swords, and we got this little butterfly. That's you. This little butterfly with its sword, right? So it's like, this is literally you. You took your sword, got the heck out of Dodge. And so, you know, the transformation that's ready to begin is for you to hold a new belief system, that you're leaving behind this belief that I don't ever fit and I'm not good enough. And you're believing that, like, I can create whatever it is that I want to create. Like, aces are a new beginning. Swords is mindset, thoughts, words, communication. Like, the transformation that's ready to begin is a new belief system for you. You know, one that's rooted in like love and acceptance, that like you're more than good enough for your tribe of people, and you're more than good enough for really anybody. There's nothing wrong with you. Like, you don't have to try so hard. You don't have to try so hard. You can just be you. And, you know, and when you have those interactions where people just look at you like you're crazy, you just fly off. You don't have to hang out there and like receive their judgment, you know, because sometimes they don't know that they're judging you. Like, I remember when I first started getting tattooed, I think it was like, I don't even think I had a full sleeve. I was in like a Walmart or a Walgreens, and like this little boy came up. He had to be like 3 or 4, and he pinched my arm, and I didn't notice him. I'm like just like trying to get ice cream or something. I don't know what I was doing, and he like came up and pinched my arm and just stared at me, and I was like, ow. So I just like ran off. But I think, and this had to be like 2005, like a very long time ago. And like, I think he had just never seen somebody with tattoos. And like he just, I mean, he's a toddler. He doesn't know, right? Like he wasn't trying to be malicious or hurtful. I think he was trying to like pull it off of me. Maybe he thought it was a sticker. So I say all that because sometimes you'll flutter into a situation where people just kind of stare at you, with this like weird blank stare. And sometimes it can make us feel weird, right? It can make us feel like, is there something wrong with me? But there's nothing wrong with you. And so the transformation that's ready to begin is for you to shift your mindset around yourself from like someone that doesn't fit in, that's kind of weird, to like just a magical butterfly. You're not weird, you're magical. That's it. You're not weird, you're magical. Welcome. So, the last tarot card is what is waiting for you on the other side of your healing. Very nice. So this is the Keeper of Coins. So we had the Keeper of Wands with this key. We've got the Keeper of Coins with this key, and so or the Queen. And so Queen of Coins is like, it's very, to me, it's like this very, I know it's usually connected to Capricorn, but to me, this card feels very like, very Taurus, which is like luxurious, but luxury isn't necessarily expensive, right? But I mean, maybe it is for you, right? Maybe you've been working, got all these coins, and you are ready to spoil yourself. And if that's the case, treat yourself. But to me, like, this feels very like Taurian, which is like Taurus is luxury, but it's also like the luxury of comfort, right? The luxury of like sensuality, as far as like using all of our senses, like the luxury of like eating food that you really enjoy, like the luxury of like good quality toilet paper, the luxury of not booking yourself solid, with like things to do to try to meet people, and giving yourself the time and space so that you can just maybe take a nap, right? Like, I think there's a lot of luxury in like time and space, because I feel like time is privilege, right? Just like money is privilege, but I feel like also time is privilege, that like not everybody gets to control their own time. Like if you're a parent, if you're like somebody that's in a career field where like maybe you're on call or you work really long hours, or you have like a really demanding boss or something, or if you're someone that has like, you've got like some medical things that like you don't have like that kind of freedom to just like get up and go, like you're tied to medication or like some kind of device or something like that. So the thing that is waiting for you on the other side of that healing is to understand like how much like abundance and luxury that you have in your life. And it's not necessarily like you needing to become like more grateful. It's not like an issue of like that you're not grateful. It's not like a gratitude thing. It's that when you stop working, trying, pushing, striving for your tribe, and you allow that old mindset to heal, you allow that like inner child part of you that felt rejected and not good enough to receive the love and heal, you develop a new mindset that becomes one of receiving instead of like striving to earn and get. And you're gonna attract all the things that you want. Like it's almost like this pentacle is a magnet, that like when you develop that belief that you're not weird, you're magical, that you're perfect the way you are, it's going to activate this magnet to like pull in all those things that like you didn't think that you deserved. Because I feel like when when we hold the belief that we're not good enough, it's like it fills up our hand, right? So I'm holding my belief, I'm not good enough, I'm holding it, I'm not good enough. This says I'm not good enough. I'm holding on to it, not good enough. And so it's like once we put it down and it's like, maybe I am good enough. I don't know. Then what happens is it allows us to have things placed in our hand, right? Where we can like receive it, because receiving is not like grabbing, right? Receiving is just kind of saying like, okay, I am open and ready to receive the people that I know that I deserve because I'm not weird, I'm magical. And then the universe comes along and is like, hey, here's a new friend. And here's another new friend. And these two friends are gonna get along. You know, it's like you don't have to take those people. You're not taking them anywhere. It's just like you're allowing them to exist, to be in your life. And so I hope this makes sense. That I lost my number. Where'd it go? This is, which one was this? Pisces. Okay, sorry. Sorry. When we change that mindset about ourselves and we become this magnet and we let go of that belief that we're not good enough, it allows the universe to, you know, put those things in our hand, right? That like when you open your hand and you're holding a magnet, it allows things to be attracted to it. So what's waiting for you on the other side of your healing, of that inner child part of you that holds the belief that it's not good enough, is this queen of coins, this queen of abundance that's going to draw in all these, it's going to pull all these amazing things to you, like tribe, friendship, and like not just like, because you will have like those kind of superficial friendships that are valuable, but you'll also draw on these like really deep connections, you know, which I think is just really beautiful. So I'm going to go through the oracle cards now. So the first one is from this Inner Peace deck, and so the card is Dance in the Storm, and the message on the back is fuck yeah. And so I feel like, you know, right now it probably does feel like you're in a storm, right? Where it feels kind of weird and chaotic and like you're just gonna fly on out of there. And then you're gonna work on changing that mindset. And you're gonna draw in all this abundance. And fuck yeah, who doesn't want abundance? You know what I'm saying? So the next card is from this Oracle of the Radiant Sun, and it's the number 4. Oh, and it's Moon in Cancer, which is friendship. I can't, you guys. All I have to say to that is, aw, look at these two kids looking at this weird bird. They're like, hey, look at this weird bird. And this guy's like, it's not weird, it's magical. Like, oh, yeah. So the next one is this Animalkin Oracle. And it's the moth, which is awareness. And so I feel like this goes perfectly with this Ace of Swords. And so I think when we start to change our belief systems, when we start to change our mindset about things, like awareness is such a powerful tool, because it can help. I feel like awareness is a catalyst for change. So like when we see something, we can't unsee it, right? So as you're working on developing this new mindset about I'm not weird, I'm magical, like you're gonna become more aware of like your brain, you know, probably resisting that, you know, like where your brain, things might come up and your brain might be like, oh my gosh, you're so weird. Why do you do that? And it's like, ooh, 1, I'm not weird, I'm magical. 2, I see you, brain, and we're not here for it. So just So this moth awareness. This moth, like this could be, like if you happen to see any moths, like this could be a sign from the universe, maybe just a reminder to be aware, or it could very much be that kind of mama energy of like, hey, I'm with you. You're doing great. Keep going. You're so aware. Proud of you. And then you can be like, heck yeah. Okay, so the last card I have for you is from this Thera-Pets deck. And it says, just do your best. It will be enough, which is so perfect. Like, don't worry about the people that you don't fit in with. Don't worry about where it feels like you don't belong. Just do your best. And it'll be enough. It already is enough. They're so cute. I just love it. So, group number 3, that was your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. And I really hope that you are able to take the time to do that inner child work. Even if you just become aware, even if you just become aware that, yep, I remember, like, I remember when something happened and I felt like I wasn't ever going to really have friends. Like if you're not ready to do that like deep inner child work, that's okay. Just becoming aware of maybe when that kind of mindset started, like that can be really powerful too. So group number 3, I hope that this reading has been helpful for you. And that you have like a beautiful healing and transformation. I'm very excited for you to find your tribe of people. And don't forget that you're not weird, you're magical. And that you are loved. And it's just a matter of time before you're going to find all your people. There's so many of them out there. And yeah, so if you enjoyed this reading, if you would like to like it and subscribe, that would make me very happy. And even if you don't, that's okay. But thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hi, group number 4. So if you chose the moon, astro dice, and the little hammer, this is your reading. So I am using the Taro of the Curious Creatures deck for the 5 questions about healing and transformation. And then these are the decks that I've pulled oracle cards from. So this first question that I pulled a card for is kind of that vibe check question. So if for some reason this doesn't resonate for you, this might not be your reading. And if it's not, then there's 4 others that you can choose from, fortunately. So yeah. The question is, what triggers have you been dealing with lately? And so, okay. The card that came up is the Queen of Wands in reverse. So this is the upright. Queen of Wands is very much a card about decisive action. Like when we look at this queen, she's a lioness. She's sitting up tall. Holding onto her staff. She's got her little her little buddy here, this little black cat. But also she's very very confident, very, for some reason, like the phrase that's coming to my mind is well known. So I feel like good reputation. And so because this is coming up in reverse, like to me what it feels like is that like you're not feeling like you're in your power. And so I don't know if maybe something happened where like you made a bad choice, you made a mistake, like something temporary happened that like you're like, it almost feels like people are still judging you about that, or you're in like a work situation or a relationship where you've got people around you that are really disempowering you. This might be that like people aren't letting you speak, or like when you speak up, it's dismissed. I feel like if you're in a not healthy relationship, whether this is romantic, friendship, family, it's almost like there's a little bit of gaslighting. where like you'll share something and like there's like really hard denial around it. But yeah, if you've been triggered by other people's judgment around, and this can really just be like a small mistake that you made, or you've got people around you that are negging you. Like, that's not really like a word that I use, but I feel like that's what came up, that are trying to like cut you down, that I don't like it. Sorry. I don't like the energy of it. Like, I don't like people like that. Like, I don't like people that just like try to like break other people down. Like, you don't have anything else to do at all. Nothing. Okay. Sorry, that's like really hard judgment. I don't like this for you. But so if you have people around you that are just like really kind of like disrespectful to you, then this is the reading for you. So the triggers that you've been dealing with are it feels like unfair judgment, like the passive aggressive communication, some disrespect, a lot of like doubt being kind of lobbed onto you, just like people not treating you very well. And I feel like a lot of it is like their words to you. Maybe gossip, maybe just directed at you. I don't like that for you. So let's see what wound is ready for healing for you. 3 of Swords. So this is tied very much to this. So these swords are words, thoughts, communication, mind energy. So like we think of the words that we're going to say, or we think of the words that we're going to write. So to me, this very much feels like all this shit that these people put on you, said to you, even like texted and emailed to you, like that pain is ready to heal. 3 of Swords is a card of like heartbreak, disappointment, just like it really feels like this to me really feels like crying yourself to sleep at night. I'm so sorry. Like, I don't like that. I'm looking at the astro dice because of the moon. Like, in tarot, like the moon card is like deceptions coming to light. So I feel like that's really like, this is very much the energy that you're in, where like that, gosh, granted, I don't know the specifics of your situation, right? But what I can tell you with this moon symbol and this 3 of Swords is that you didn't do anything wrong, even if you made a mistake, right? Because mistakes happen. Like, we're human beings. Accidents happen. No one is perfect. And so this small mistake you made, it does not equal the amount of pain that these people have put you through. Like, the amount of heartache, the amount of dislike these people are trying to get you to feel about yourself. No, like, this is fucked up. You know, I think it's one thing to make a mistake, even like in my brain, like let's say that you cheated on someone, right? That person that you cheated on can leave if that doesn't align with their relationship values, right? And this is like easier said than done. But what is not okay is for them to like tear you down and call you names and like repeat, like try to make you relive all those, like, it's almost like a fun house mirror where it's like you see all these like you see you, but then you see like 18 different versions of you. I feel like that's what they're doing. Like, when they're telling you that you are such a bad person because you cheated on them, it's not like the one conversation where it's like, hi, I'm confessing to what I did and we need to talk through it. And yes, you're entitled to share your hurt. Like, it's one thing for someone to say, hey, that was really hurtful. And then it's another thing for someone to be like calling you names and saying all these things. Like, that's not okay, right? That I feel like when we own up to something that we've done wrong, to be met with a projection of like all the hurt that was caused, like, is that a natural human reaction? Sure. Is that conducive for like reconciliation? Is that conducive for any kind of restoration in the relationship? Nope, not at all. Yeah, I feel like I know I'm like really harping on this, but this amount of pain does not equate to whatever you did wrong. And there are some of you that didn't do anything wrong. There are some of you that the thing that you did wrong is that you didn't do what somebody else told you. And that's not wrong. Like, so the wound that's ready for healing is like your wounded heart. That's ready for healing. Okay. How is Source supporting you in the healing? And so the card that came up is this Two of Pentacles. And so this is a card of balancing. Like, we see him on this little egg. And so I feel like the universe is asking you to balance some things, right? And I'm looking at this little hammer because, I think that some of you might struggle with boundaries. And so instead of setting a boundary and saying, hey, I understand that like what I did hurt you, or I understand that you don't agree with the choices that I made, but I'm done listening to you talk about this. Like, for some of you, saying that feels like throwing down a hammer, like, but much bigger than this. And like much more serious than me like trying to hold this ridiculous thing. And so some of you would much rather just receive the hurtful words than to speak up for yourself, to say, like, I understand that you're hurt and I understand that you're disappointed, but you've shared this with me enough times that now it's causing me pain and I'm done listening. So if you have anything else that you need to say, I need you to say it to somebody else. Like, message received, totally understand. I do not care to hear it anymore. And so like for some of you, I understand that probably feels like giving somebody literally like the middle finger, and it's like, I can't do that. Like, I cannot do that. And so the universe is coming in to help you recalibrate, you soaking up all the pain versus putting up a boundary, taking your power back, right? To say, no more. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. I don't want to talk about that. No, thank you. I'm not available for that conversation. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. And I feel like boundaries are something that's like just become like more and more and more prominent. And I feel like part of that is because like, I think socially, like the division of people's belief systems, like whatever it is that you believe in, whether it's political or not, like eating animals versus not eating animals, like that's not as politicized as some other things, but like there's such a hard division between things. Also, the world is chaos. Like, I feel like if you're a human being on this planet right now, like you are not untouched by chaos wherever it is that you live. whatever you're experiencing, even if you're not somebody that's in the work, if you're a child of adult people right now, like I feel like there's I don't know that there's anybody that's untouched by the chaos of the world. And so I think that boundaries are becoming more and more prominent, even if it's boundaries around social media, right? That, sometimes like a lot of us like have to take a break from it. Like the news, politics, buying groceries, like just there's so many things that we kind of have to boundary ourselves around. And so what are boundaries? Like, to me, boundaries are the lock on the door to your house, that there's layers to them, right? That like, depending on where you live, if you live in the middle of nowhere and you can hear a car pulling into your driveway like a quarter mile away, maybe you don't lock your door because you don't need to. But do you keep it open? No, because you don't want bugs in there. You don't want like a random squirrel coming in. You don't need that chaos. Raccoons, possums, no. And then there's some of us that like, the door's closed, the door's locked. We don't share our address with people. The people that do our address, like, you call before you come over because I won't answer the door. Or I might not be home, right? And so there's different layers to boundaries. And so I say all this because, like, in the world that we exist in, nobody apologizes for, like, locking their door when they leave their house. Nobody's like, I'm so sorry that you couldn't rob me. I should have left the door unlocked. I'm so sorry. I know you needed that TV. No, we don't live in that world. So I say all that to ask you, why is it not okay for you to close the door to your own energy, to your own self-esteem, to your own mental health, your own physical well-being, right? Why do you have to stay open 24/7 to anybody that wants to come by and impale your little heart with whatever bullshit they think about you? And speaking on behalf of the universe, like, the universe wants to support you by encouraging you to balance those things, right? Encouraging you to balance how you boundary yourself, and like we apply different boundaries to different people. I have friends that like that I'm not very boundaried with because they have very healthy boundaries, and we have the same boundaries, right? Like, I have one friend that if either of us needs support, like, we'll ask, like, hey, are you available to talk? Are you available for support? Just like, like, I've had lots of friendships where people kind of just emotionally dump and they don't ask if you're available because everybody's got different boundaries, right? And so, even though my friend and I that like share the same values and share the same boundaries, like, I'm not always available. She's not always available, right? And so, like, understanding that there's this balancing act that, like, we can have different boundaries with different people, but like, at the end of the day, like, we have to take care of ourselves, right? So, like, if I reach out to this friend and I'm like, hey, are you available? And she's not, and I'm hurting, that, like, I have to still take care of myself, that, like, I can't hold on to all of my stuff until I can offload it on her, because that's not her responsibility. It's my responsibility to care for myself. And if I need extra support in doing that, then I reach out for it. But if that extra support is not available, I'm still doing all my own heavy lifting. And if for some reason I am not able to, then I have to call for professional support, or I have to reach out to, like, that emergency support, which is like my family. But so the universe is supporting you in healing by bringing you, it's It's not gonna it's not gonna nag you to death about it like I am. You're welcome. It's going to bring you situations where you get to practice this balancing, right? And this might come through as a little bit of, it feels like the word that comes to mind is conflict of interest, right? So it could be something that, like, let's say you schedule a massage for yourself on a Sunday morning, and then someone reaches out and they're like, oh, we're doing this thing Sunday, so I'll come pick you up. Okay, now what do? Now you have to do the uncomfortable thing of saying, like, I'm so sorry I can't go. I have an appointment scheduled. Oh, well, what is it? Why can't you go? Everybody's going. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not going to make it. And like that, for some people, like that's really confrontational, right? Because normally you would say like, oh, it's a massage, but I can reschedule it. What are you getting a massage for? You don't deserve a massage. Do you even have money for that? And I'm not saying it's easy. And sometimes you might say like, oh, I can't go. I have a massage scheduled on Sunday. And they're like, you need to reschedule it. And you're like, okay, because like change is hard, right? And then you're 2 hours into hanging out with this person and these other people. And you're like, I should have gone for my fucking massage. Because now I'm in this energy and I need that massage more than ever. So I don't want you to feel judged. Like, making those changes is really hard. And whichever way you go, like the learning is in the doing, right? So it's like, if you allow this person to tell you what to do and you don't go and get that massage and you don't feel great, what's going to happen from that is the next time that you do something for yourself and this person pops up, you're going to be that much quicker at being like, nope. Oh, I already have plans. So sorry. I already have plans. Oh, I can't break them. No, I can't. I'm so sorry. I know that's terrible, right? Yeah, I really shouldn't make my own plans. I should let you dictate my whole life. You're right. It won't happen again. What I'll tell you is, when you're learning boundaries and you're learning self-care, there are some people that you have to lie to because that's in your best interest. So does that make me a terrible person to say that? Maybe. And if you want to blame me for the terrible things that you do to put yourself first, be my guest. I am here for it. Be my guest. I am happy to be the blame for you putting yourself first. I'm here for it. Okay. So the fourth question is, what transformation is ready to begin? So the card that came up is the Seven of Pentacles. It came up in reverse, but I want to show you upright. And so Seven of Pentacles in the upright is a card of waiting. It can be a card of impatience, but I feel like this is really more like upright. It's more patient, right? He's just hanging out, waiting for the rest of these little sunflowers to bloom. He's got one, so he knows things are happening. And so to me, the transformation that's ready to begin is releasing that. Doesn't feel like impatience. It feels like the pressure, right? So it feels like this person says jump, and like before you even have a chance to think about it, your mouth is like, how high? So the transformation that's ready to begin is that hyper reactivity, like that, what is the word? Hypervigilance. So it's like you're ready. The transformation that is ready to begin is to release that like hypervigilance, that reactivity to these people, these like demands that these people have. And I feel like as you have more of those experiences where you have to balance like what you need versus what they're like trying to make you do, this like hyper reactionary response is you're going to become more and more aware of how that feels in your body. And so I feel like this is something that I feel like is really very much in the collective lately, that there's like a lot of this like rushing energy. And I almost feel like it has to do with some of the astrology. But now that we're in Mercury retrograde, like we're really being kind of confronted with like, oh, I have to hurry up and do this. And then we go to do it. And Mercury is like, I'm going to fuck it up. And it's like, oh, why did I rush to do that? Like I should have just taken my time. And so to me, like it feels like the more you're put in these situations where you have to really focus on, do I take care of myself or do I react to what they want? This reactionary response is going to, it's just going to become like less and less of a thing, right? It's going to become less, I was gonna say active. Your reactivity is gonna become less active. You will react more and more slowly the more you get into the habit and are given the opportunity to balance. Do I choose me or do I listen to them? Because this is very like, the coins are associated with earth energy, which is very it's very tangible, but it's very kind of slow moving energy, right? So this is like slowly building that habit. This 7 of coins is like slowly waiting for these things to grow. The opposite of that is, oh, you want sunflowers? I'll just go buy them. And it's like, no, I want to grow sunflower. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So then we just wait. Yep. We just wait. And while we're waiting, we kind of weigh, this or this. No, thank you. No more pain. No, thank you. And then the last tarot card I have for you is what is waiting for you on the other side of your healing. And so the card that came up is this 9 of Cups. And so 9 of Cups is really this card of wish fulfillment. So when we have this little guy, he's looking up like, oh my gosh, look at all of this amazing stuff. Cups represent love. Cups are associated with the water signs. Got this moon. The moon is ruled by Cancer. Cancer is a water sign. The moon also affects like the tides, the ocean, water. And so this, on the other side of the healing, on the other side of you choosing to balance out, is this in my best interest or is this me reacting to an old habit? Is this wish fulfillment? So as you start to put yourself first, the things that you want for yourself, the things that you want for your life, like all the really positive, beautiful things that you are not sure that you deserve, but that you do, are going to be able to come into your life. So I feel like that's so, like, it's so lovely. So you're ready to heal that kind of heartbreak, that disappointment. Like, yeah, you're ready to heal your heart. And you do that by, balancing the choices that you make through the perspective of like, is this for my best good? Does this feel good for me? Or am I feeling a lot of pressure to do what other people want? And the more you choose what feels good for you, what feels nourishing for you, what feels like just what feels good, right? And the things that feel good for us, like sometimes we think that it feels good to give other people their way. But I think as you learn more how to care for yourself and how to love yourself, what you're going to realize is that you're doing the things that other people want and it feels good because you've relieved the pressure. Because these people put a lot of pressure on you to do what they want, and that pressure is heavy. Like that pressure does not feel good, and it's like giving in relieves the pressure. So it's like, oh, and like that feeling is much different than the feeling of, I'm so glad that I just get to get up on Sunday morning and I get to go and drive to my massage and I get to meet with my really nice massage lady and I get to spend this time nurturing my body, and then afterwards I just get to go home and do whatever I want, and I don't have to be dragged around by this person that likes to stay out for like 5 hours, and I don't have to like figure out when I can do my meal prep or like if I'm gonna have time to watch my favorite show or like whatever. So I feel like, I hope that illustrates like how it's a very different feeling, right? That like there's it's a big difference between like the relief of like getting done with something that's really taxing, you know, or it's like a big relief of like putting down all the heavy grocery bags, but still having like, oof, my hands hurt because I carried too many. It hurts a little bit. There's a big difference between that and the that really like beautiful feeling of like waking up without an alarm and just like letting your body wake up on its own, right? Where you're just like, oh, I'm just like magically awake like a Disney princess. There's no like chaotic alarm. Like I just like my body feels like rested. So as you learn to care for yourself more, then the universe will bring you so many more really beautiful things because you're in alignment with that energy, right? That like you're in alignment, like, yes, I am ready to make the choices towards things that make me feel good. And the universe is like, yes, now you're aligned with that energetic of like, of receiving the feel good things. So let me just make it rain feel good things for you. Yes, I love it. Okay. So this wish fulfillment, all these beautiful things, that's what's waiting for you on the other side of your healing. Okay. So I pulled a card from each of these decks for you. So this inner fucking peace, the card is breathe like you know how, right? Breathe like you know how. Yes. Inhale the good shit. Exhale the load shit. Well, oh no, bad shit. I can't read. Oh my God. This looks like it says load, which does not make sense. Okay. Should I edit that out? I'm not going to. Let's start over. Okay, the card that I picked for you is breathe like you know how. Oh God. Inhale the good shit. Exhale the bad shit. Okay. Inhale the good shit. Exhale the bad shit. Oh, okay. So the Oracle of the Radiant Sun card that I picked for you is number 10, which is control. And this is, I want to say this is Jupiter in Capricorn. So control, very much what these people are trying to do to you. So when you have those people, you know, that are like saying terrible things to you, you know, that are saying hurtful things to you, or the people that have said hurtful things to you are the ones that want you to cancel your massage. Just remember that they're trying to control you. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking at this. So he's got his feet on the earth and then there's a snake eating itself. Like it's, to me, this is very like, it doesn't feel good, right? Where it's like, this snake eating itself, very self-destructive energy. And then this like just wanting to have someone like under your foot, almost like under their thumb. Like I'm exerting power and control over you because I can, just because I can. And it's like there's this contentment around it, which is ick. I don't like that. Yeah. So, yeah. Taking away your power so that they can exert that control over you. The next card is from the Animalkin Oracle, and it is a peahen, which I don't know if these are these like from the UK. I don't know. So a peahen is a peacock, and the message is nurture, which I feel like goes very well with making those choices, making the best choices for you. That's how you nurture yourself. And the number for this card is 8. 8 is a number of abundance. I love it. So maybe if you happen to see a peacock, I know like the peacock design is very popular, so that might be a good reminder whenever you happen to see it, or if you see one, a good reminder to nurture yourself. Just give yourself a little extra love and kindness and boundaries. The last card I have for you is from this Thera-Pets deck, and it's not a card. It's about the author. I'm going to pull you another card. I'm not going to pull you this. Your card is Kate Allen is an author. Kate Allen, we love you. We love your deck, but no. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. She has a lot of cards about cards. Okay. Look how big these are. Okay, I'm gonna try to shuffle these for you. This is so awkward. I have small hand. Okay. This one's yours. I'm like a child. Okay. So your card is, it's so perfect. You can't see it. Self-care the crap out of life and you'll get through okay. Exhale the bad shit. I can't see if this is, okay, let me see. There we go. Oh. Also, this is a sign to take a nap. Take a rest whenever you need one. Self-care the crap out of life and you'll get through okay. Inhale the good shit, exhale the bad shit. Group number 4. This has been your ridiculous, silly reading. No, I feel like this has been a good reading. I'm just ridiculous. I hope that you are able to see how supported you are in regards to taking care of yourself, that you deserve all the love and tenderness that anybody deserves, regardless of what mistake you made, and especially if you didn't even make a mistake, if you just made your own choices and somebody got upset. Ugh. They can go be upset somewhere else. But yeah, that you deserve your own love and care. And I hope that this reading has been helpful. And I hope that you have a very loving, healing transformation. I feel like I can't find the words. Like, I hope that the universe fortifies you against all the icky people that are around you saying icky things. I hope that birds poop on their head every time they say something mean to you, because karma never forgets an address. But yeah, if you enjoyed the reading, if you would be so lovely as to if you would like to subscribe, I would love that. But most of all, thank you so much for watching this reading, and I hope that it was super, super helpful, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hello, group number 5. So if you chose the Uranus, yep, to write that down. If you chose the Uranus Astro Dice and the little dragon head, this little handsome little guy, this is your reading. So I have pulled cards for you from the Modern Witch Tarot deck. And also there will be 4 oracle cards at the end of the reading that I pulled for you as well. So, Uranus is the planet that rules the unexpected. So I'm interested to see how this kind of comes up in your reading. So the first card that I pull is about what triggers have you been dealing with lately. It's kind of that vibe check card that I talked about in the intro. So if this card doesn't really match with like what you've been dealing with, this might not be your reading. So fortunately, there are 4 other readings that you can choose from if this one doesn't vibe for you. So what triggers have you been dealing with lately? So the card that came up was the Page of Swords reversed. So upright, the Page of Swords is pages are messengers. They can represent people that are like mediums or channels, or even people that are kind of like administrative assistants, things like that. So with this coming up in reverse, to me, what this feels like is kind of a struggle to communicate. It's not that you're not heard. It's almost like you either can't figure out how to say what you want to say. Like you can't find the words, you can't figure out how to convey the message. And so it's almost like being at a loss. I don't know if this is maybe like a little bit of memory loss. Like writer's block even. I'm not sure. This is very interesting because it's like I'm having a hard time like connecting to the energy, and I think that is the energy, right? Like this feeling of like a lack of connection, like a loss of connection. So if that resonates for you, then this is your reading. So let's see what wound is ready for healing. Okay. 10 of Swords, everything is fine. And so in reverse, like this is how it came up, is that it's in reverse. And this makes sense. Okay, this makes a lot of sense because they're both swords, they're both reverse. Let me see. And not all the cards are reverse. So sometimes when all the cards come up reverse, like I'll look at them upright, but I feel like the wound that's ready for healing is for you to have a reality check, because I think that you've become so disconnected from how bad things are in your life. Everything's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm overworked. I'm exhausted. I'm not making enough money. I'm not valued. Nobody appreciates my effort. I'm not getting recognized at work. I have a shit partner. It's fine. It's fine. No, everything's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Are you sure you're losing weight? It's fine. You haven't eaten today. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So the part of you that is overwhelmed, exhausted, at the breaking point, that is so afraid to verbalize it because you feel like you literally will fall apart, that is the part that needs wounding. Like I feel like whoever this is, like you don't need a vacation, like you need a recovery. Like you probably need, like in a perfect world, 2 weeks where you just recalibrate, right? Like 2 weeks of just like creating the perfect schedule for yourself, like putting everything else aside, like kind of pretending to move away to a cabin in the woods and not talking to people so that you can get on a meal prep plan, so you can get your sleep right, so you can do your laundry, you can wash all those dishes. Like it feels like you just need time and space to take care of your whole life. Because you've been pushing too hard. And it feels like this is self-inflicted.
like you're not a glutton for punishment, but I feel like you thought that this is what you were supposed to be doing. You thought that you were supposed to be doing all these things that inadvertently have taken you away from having any control of your life. Oh. I'm sorry. Like that's, the pressure is real, right? Okay. How is the universe supporting you in healing? Okay. So the card that came up is Three of Swords. This is a card of heartbreak and disappointment. Okay, so you have a couple of choices. You can either come clean with yourself. You can either be very honest with yourself about what needs to be taken off the to-do list. You can be very honest with yourself and give yourself the radical rest that you need, or the universe is going to bring it to you, and it's going to be painful. And I don't really like this, right? Like, because when we have this energy, it's like we're so exhausted that like we're driving and we're half asleep, and then something happens and we almost have an accident, or maybe we do have an accident. We're so overwhelmed that we are not paying attention to what we're doing, and we trip and fall and hurt ourselves physically. So the universe is supporting you by giving you the opportunity to really make some radical changes to care for yourself, to take things off your plate, or it will do it for you. And this happened to me a couple years ago, where I was just like, this was me. I was doing way too much, and I don't know why. I think I just thought that's what I was supposed to do. And I was walking down the stairs in my house that I've lived in for a couple years, and I don't remember if I thought I saw one of the cats do something or heard one of the cats do something, and I was wearing slippers. Turned around. When I turned forward, one of my feet slipped, as the name would imply, out from under me. I fell down my stairs. Like, it wasn't like a stunt fall where I fell like head over feet. Nope. Landed on my ass, bounced down the stairs, which sounds funny. I think I was screaming the whole way. It was probably very traumatic for my ex. It was traumatic for me. And when I was getting towards the bottom of the stairs, I have a wall. And I was like, oh, if I just put my foot down like I'm braking in a car, I can stop myself because I'm stronger than physics or gravity or whatever. Slammed my foot down, and I broke my leg in 3 places. So I do not wish that on anyone. It was very, very traumatic and not pleasant at all. I wouldn't wish a broken bone on anybody. But you're doing too much. And if you cannot stop yourself, if you can't course correct, the universe is going to course correct for you. And it may not be pleasant. It might be, I mean, it's happening for the highest good of you, but like in that moment, it's not going to feel great. So what transformation is ready to begin? Okay. So Ace of Wands in reverse. Ace of Wands upright is a new way of doing things. So this is waiting for you. So both of these came up reversed, right? Because you're not able to communicate with yourself that you're doing too much. You're in denial about how much you're doing. And so once you're able to come clean with yourself and see, I'm doing way too much. I'm in over my head. I'm exhausted. I'm doing way too much. Then this new way of operating that will be able to come in. And so you have a choice. You can either wait for the universe to do it, or you can do it yourself. And if you do it yourself, it's going to be much, much, much more pleasant for you, because when we look at these, right, we can either be handed this new way of doing things with the light behind it, like these little leaves, or we can have this painful, yeah, we don't want that. So a new way of operating, that is what's ready to begin. It's super overdue, super overdue. And then what is waiting for you on the other side of your healing? It's this Two of Swords upright. So this is, to me, this is intention. Instead of, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, everything's fine, it's fine. This, we see her holding these swords instead of them being plunged into her. See, there's no, the person, the object in the card is not active here. This post-healing, like this is very intentional, very active. She controls the sword. She controls what happens, you know, and in the upright, and these are all, you got 4 swords cards. So these are all, this is your mindset, like the way that you believe that you're supposed to operate. Like this is what these cards are. So on the other side of that healing, like once you take control of the way that you work, then you can set that new precedence for how to be very intentional, which I love. I feel like this is very direct, but I feel like it's the swords energy. It's very, very direct. Oh, girl. You might not even be a woman. I'm sorry. Okay. So I pulled 4 oracle cards for you. So the first one is from this Inner Fucking Peace deck, and it is, I can't make this up, sit down and shut up. In other words, meditate. All these swords cards are, these are mind cards. These, if these two don't go together, I do not know what does. Sit down and shut up. In other words, meditate. Meditate. Find the intention behind, why are you doing what you're doing? And even looking at these two, she's looking to this higher self. This is your higher self. The way you operate every day is looking to your higher self that knows intention. And she's like, how do I do that? Like how? I want to. I know I'm supposed to be doing something, but I don't know what. Guidance, please. The next one is this Oracle of the Radiant Sun. And it's number 9, it's principle. Again, intentionality. What are your principles? Why are you doing why are you taking the action that you're taking? The Animalkin Oracle is Seahorse, which is love. And I like how they're facing each other. Again, we've got the 2. Very intentional. And this is your relationship with yourself, right? How are you caring for yourself in your actions? And the last one is this Thera-Pets card. It's so cute. Whatever you manage to do today will be enough. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to do everything. Whatever you do today is good enough. You don't have to do all the things. So I feel like, Uranus, was that unexpected? I probably not. I think it was. I think you can't be in this and not know that you're in this, right? You could be in denial, right? Just like, that's fine. At this point I don't feel anything. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's not too painful. Everything's fine. So group number 5. I hope that this was helpful. I feel like you guys know. I think that's why this reading was so short and so quick, because and I'm sure that you're on your couch or your phone and you're probably like, you're right. You're right. So please take care of you so that this doesn't happen. And if you're not able to take care of you and this happens, I hope that this is very minimal. I hope it's I hope it's one of those things where you're like carrying too many things and then you drop them and nothing breaks and it wasn't really anything valuable. And then this reading pops in your head and you're like, oh shit, that could have been bad. Could have been bad. Got to fix something. So, group number 5. Take good care of you because you deserve it. And you don't have to do all that shit because you don't know why you're doing it. You're doing it because somebody said you got to do it. You don't have to do it. I'm giving you permission not to do all the things. I'm giving you permission to put a couple of those swords down so that you have time and space to care for you. You could put down like 8 of them. Out of the 10, you can put down 8. Let's be honest. You could put down 8 because really only 2 of them matter. Can't do 10 things at one time. Only 2 matter. And if you don't want to put them down, the universe is going to take 3 of them off of you. And it might hurt. So, group number 5, that was your reading. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Leave me a comment also if you feel like this resonated for you. But most of all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that this was helpful towards your healing and transformation of the addiction of overdoing. We've all been there. You're going to be okay. Take care of you. Self-care first. All right. I will see you next time. Bye.